What if I told you that this seemingly ordinary painting hides a secret so profound, it could change the way you look at art forever? This isn't just a portrait of a woman with an enigmatic smile. It's a puzzle, a message left behind by one of the greatest minds in history. But what exactly is Leonardo da Vinci trying to tell us? There's more to the Mona Lisa's smile than you think. And she's not alone in hiding incredible secrets. Sometimes it's a personal message only the artist could understand. Other times it's a profound commentary on society, religion, or science, hidden in plain sight. And in some cases, the secrets are so well buried, it's taken centuries to uncover them, or we've only just begun to scratch the surface. Today, we're not just going to look at paintings, we're going to go beneath the surface, exploring the riddles, mysteries, and breathtaking secrets that make art so much more than just paint on canvas. Are you ready to uncover the truth? Long before humans could write, they painted. On the walls of caves, our ancestors left behind handprints, animals, and abstract shapes. But these weren't just decorations, they were messages. Imagine a hunter using these symbols to pass down knowledge to his tribe, or a shaman capturing the essence of a spiritual vision. Every line, every mark carried meaning. As civilizations advanced, so did the complexity of their symbols. The Egyptians, for example, transformed their entire culture into a symbolic language. A single glyph, a sun, or a staff could tell an entire story. But what makes these symbols so fascinating isn't just their beauty, it's their power. They allowed people to communicate ideas that were too complex, too sacred, or even too dangerous to say out loud. And this practice didn't end with the ancients. By the medieval era, symbolism had taken on an entirely new role. Paintings, tapestries, and stained glass windows in cathedrals weren't just meant to be admired. They were tools of education, morality, and even control. Take this simple image: a lamb. To a medieval viewer, it wasn't just a lamb, it was a symbol of Christ's sacrifice. Every detail in a piece of medieval art had a purpose. The placement of a figure, the colors used, even the direction someone was looking, it all meant something. It was a way to speak to people who couldn't read or write, using images to convey complex religious ideas. But here's where things get interesting. Not all symbols were meant to be understood by everyone. Some were deliberately cryptic, meant only for those who knew how to look. Secret messages, hidden meanings, and coded warnings were often embedded in art, hiding in plain sight. Even today, artists continue this tradition. A brushstroke might seem random, but it could be a clue. A seemingly innocuous color choice could hold a deeper meaning. The language of symbolism has been passed down through the centuries, evolving and adapting but never disappearing. And this brings us to the Renaissance, a time when this hidden language reached its peak. Artists weren't just creating beauty, they were creating riddles, layering their work with ideas about science, religion, and the human condition. But some of these riddles were so complex, we're still unraveling them today. Let's start with one of the most famous and most mysterious paintings of all time, The Last Supper by Leonardo da Vinci. At first glance, it's a simple depiction of a sacred moment, the final meal Jesus shared with his disciples before his crucifixion. But when you look closer, strange details start to emerge. For instance, take a look at the arrangement of the apostles. Most religious art of the time depicted Jesus and his followers in perfect harmony, symbolizing unity. But here, it's chaos. The apostles are divided into groups, their faces filled with shock and confusion, their hands gesturing wildly. Why? Some believe this disarray reflects the moment when Jesus revealed that one of his disciples would betray him. But others argue that it's part of a deeper, hidden message. Notice the strange positioning of their hands. There's one hand clutching a knife, and it doesn't clearly belong to anyone. Scholars have debated this detail for centuries. Could it be a clue, pointing to Judas as the betrayer? Or could it hint at something far more cryptic? And then there's the shape of the composition itself. When you trace the lines of the apostles' bodies, some say they form the letter M. Could this be a subtle nod to Mary Magdalene, as some theorists have suggested? And if so, what is Da Vinci trying to tell us about her role in this story? And of course, there's Da Vinci's most famous work, the Mona Lisa. For centuries, her enigmatic smile has captivated audiences, but what lies beneath that smile? Some researchers believe Da Vinci embedded mathematical secrets into this painting, using the golden ratio to achieve a sense of perfection and harmony. But the mysteries don't stop there. Look at her hands, delicately posed but slightly uneven. Was this an intentional flaw? A hidden message about imperfection? And then there's the blurred background. Some say it represents a dreamlike connection between humanity and nature, a reminder of the delicate balance between the two. Others have taken a far more cryptic approach, suggesting that the Mona Lisa might contain coded messages visible only to those who know where and how to look. For example, some believe Da Vinci painted tiny letters into her pupils, spelling out initials that could unlock an entirely new narrative about her identity. But Da Vinci wasn't the only Renaissance master weaving mysteries into his work. Let's take a look at Michelangelo's masterpiece on the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel. The creation of Adam is one of the most iconic images in art history, showing God reaching out to give life to the first man. But look closer at the shapes surrounding God and the angels. Doesn't it look familiar? Some anatomists believe Michelangelo deliberately painted a detailed depiction of the human brain into this scene. The folds and curves surrounding God are nearly identical to the structure of the brain, from the cerebrum to the optic nerves. Could this be Michelangelo's way of suggesting that divinity resides within the human mind? And it doesn't stop there. Michelangelo filled the Sistine Chapel with subtle anatomical references, many of which were only discovered centuries later. Why? Was he making a statement about science? About faith? Or was it a personal secret he never intended to share? The Renaissance wasn't just an age of beauty, it was an age of breakthroughs in science, philosophy, and religion. Artists like Da Vinci and Michelangelo didn't just paint, they encoded their ideas, hiding them beneath layers of symbolism and detail. But while some of these secrets have been uncovered, others remain elusive. What else might be waiting to be discovered, hidden in plain sight? By the time we reached the modern era, the way artists use symbolism had evolved, but their fascination with hidden meanings never disappeared. Instead, it took on an entirely new form, one that challenged traditional conventions and invited the viewer to become part of the puzzle. Take Salvador Dalí, for instance. His work, The Persistence of Memory, is one of the most iconic paintings of the 20th century. Those melting clocks, what do they mean? At first glance, they seem surreal, almost nonsensical. But Dalí once hinted that this painting was inspired by the strange elasticity of time in dreams. The clocks are soft, almost organic, as if they're melting away, symbolizing the fragility of time itself. And then there's the strange, distorted face in the center of the painting. Is it Dalí himself? Or a representation of the subconscious? The genius of surrealism lies in its ambiguity. While Renaissance artists used symbols to convey specific ideas, surrealists like Dalí and René Magritte left their works deliberately open to interpretation. Every viewer sees something different because that's the point. Magritte's paintings are equally cryptic. In The Son of Man, we see a man in a suit with an apple hovering in front of his face. Simple enough, right? But why can't we see his face? Is it a commentary on identity, on the things we hide from the world, or from ourselves? Magritte once said that his goal was to make the ordinary extraordinary, forcing us to question the things we take for granted. But not all modern art relies on surreal imagery. Some artists, like Jackson Pollock, created works that seem completely abstract, yet are deeply personal. His famous drip paintings might look random, but Pollock described them as a dance. Each line, each splash of paint was deliberate, a reflection of his emotions and subconscious mind. Researchers have even analyzed Pollock's paintings mathematically, discovering patterns that mirror the natural rhythms of the universe. Could it be that Pollock was tapping into something deeper, a connection between human creativity and the chaotic beauty of nature? And then there's Banksy, the elusive street artist whose work has captivated and confounded audiences around the world. Banksy's pieces are often simple at first glance, but their symbolism is razor sharp. Take this image of a girl letting go of a balloon. It's heartbreaking, but what does it mean? Is it a comment on innocence lost? On hope drifting away? Every detail in Banksy's work is intentional, from the placement of his pieces to the objects and colors he chooses. His art isn't confined to galleries. It's woven into the fabric of modern life, challenging us to think about the world we live in. Modern art may look different from the masterpieces of the past, but it shares the same goal: to make us question, to make us wonder, and to remind us that art is never just what it seems. What is it about hidden secrets in art that fascinates us so much? Maybe it's the idea that every painting is more than just an image. Every brushstroke, every color, every symbol could hold a story waiting to be discovered. Art doesn't just make us feel, it makes us think. It challenges us to look beyond the surface, to find meaning in the details. And sometimes it reminds us that the most extraordinary things can hide in plain sight. And maybe that's the greatest secret of all. Art isn't just about what we see, it's about what we feel, what we imagine, and what we discover when we take the time to look closer. If this video made you see art in a new way, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Have you ever spotted a hidden detail in a painting? Or do you have a theory about the secrets we've explored today? Let us know. We'd love to hear from you.